Like and subscribe right now, or else this will be in your bed tonight. r/AskReddit by Planet Reddit. Reddit. What is something legal in your country that may seem insane in another? Drive-through liquor stores. I didn't think it was real, and then I went to Kansas. I saw a drive-through gun store attached to a drive-through liquor store in Texas. It was amazing. Freedom. I saluted the flag as an eagle soared overhead, and I'm not even American. Drinking beer in public. Children, at least not under 13 or 14, I think, are allowed in bars with parents, and they even can drink beer at that age. 14 plus or 16 plus without consent from parents. Adults. No speed limit on highways. Not all of them, of course. Paying over €1,000, up to $2,000 in some cases, for a driver's license. Especially for the Americans, this would be insane, I guess. Closed shops at night and on Sundays except at many train stations, airports, etc. Legal prostitution. Deutschland. D. Definitely Germany. I paid €1,300 for my driver license, and I went 210 km/h with a rented Audi A3 on the Autobahn. I'm 22, but the closed shops thing is annoying. I went to England and bought something at 9 p.m. It was amazing. I paid about $800 or $1,000 for my license in Latvia. Right hand turns at a red stoplight. Didn't know illegal in Europe until a €100 traffic told me so. In Germany, this is allowed if there is a small little green arrow. I have always wondered what that red X with blue background means. Could you please tell me what it means? No stopping, and with a single line across it means no parking. China has no drinking age period. If someone will sell it to you, you can buy it. Law in general is somewhat difficult to conceptualize in China, but there is definitively no legal drinking age limitation of any kind. Edit. Grammar error. As somebody who went to high school in China, I can confirm this. If you had money, you could buy liquor. Nothing like going to the corner store and buying a tall boy Tsingtao with some 10mg Hong Nan Haze and a lighter, all for around $1. Good times. Prostitution with the age of 16. Switzerland. Is the law that it's legal to procure a prostitute at 16, or it's legal to be a prostitute at 16, or both? As age of consent is 16, both is allowed. However, many prostitutes only accept age 18 and up as customers. According to a friend of mine who tried once at age 17, the customers of underage prostitutes can be charged. The whole thing makes no sense at all. We made vodka in our chemistry class, then drank it with our teacher. That's amazing. Russia? Denmark. Only getting 2 weeks of vacation time off a year, assuming you have a good job. Most Europeans you tell this to can't fathom the idea. My old boss was annoyed that he didn't get enough done at work. They actually made him take vacations even when he didn't necessarily want them. There was just so much to do and he felt personally responsible. But his bosses forced him to take vacations and sick leave and stuff. I've heard cases where low-level employees were forced to take time off as a check that there were things that didn't get done while they were out, to prove they were useful. As a manager, it's important that you develop your team to get things done. Your boss taking time off could be a similar check. It's usually because having masses of annual leave accrued is a liability for the company. They need to pay your annual leave out when you leave the company, and if you have 20 weeks accrued, that's a big chunk of change. Easier to force employees to use up their leave each year. Shops are open on Sundays. Government has a monopoly on selling wine and stronger alcoholic drinks. Also a monopoly on railways. The age of consent is 16. 15-year-old people are legally responsible. You're free to camp on someone else's land without permission. Also, you're allowed to fish, swim, row a boat and pick flowers and mushrooms. The list goes on, but you get the hang of it. Can't limit photographing where anyone can just walk in and out. Malls, train stations, shops. You have to pay some copyright fee for blank DVDs and new MP3 players. Taxi drivers have to buy licenses for the songs they play in their cars. Every product here has to have instructions also in Swedish, which is also our second official language with 300,000 native speakers. Also, most street names are in Swedish too. Grades 1-9 have to be free for students. Edit. Forgot two quite big ones. Edit 2. I'm in Finland. I'd say that all Finnish education is free. You have to pay for the books and the state won't provide transportation to school after finishing 9th grade. But it's not too bad. Yep, the education, lectures, are totally free and only the books for gymnasium are expensive. I was thinking of posting something witty about being naked, sweaty and uncomfortably close around small children. You know, public saunas and all. In Spain, the law says that if you buy a house with a bank credit, and suddenly you can't continue paying for it anymore, you lose your job, they raise the fees, etc. You must give your house back to the bank and still keep paying the total amount of the credit given. Yup, as a Canadian I cannot comprehend the lack of logic behind this at all. True, we're trying to change this law but of course the power of money is too big to defeat. Still it makes no sense and the European Union keeps stopping it from being passed. That's why everyone is upset with the Union and want to abandon the boat. Off licenses and shops can't sell alcohol after 10 PM. Ireland, pubs and nightclubs all have mandatory legal closing times too. The result of which is that every single drunk gets thrown out onto the street at once and they're all pissed off at getting thrown out. Great ducking idea. Edit. I suppose this is actually something that's illegal. That's insane. Sorry for answering the question backwards. Edit 2. Apparently this is a lot more common than I thought. Same in Finland except shops won't sell alcohol after 9 PM. I'm a grown woman. If I want a bottle of vodka at 10:15 PM, I should be allowed to buy it. Stupid rule. It's legal for women to go topless in Canada. That's pretty illegal in a lot of other countries. I don't think that happens in Saudi Arabia. This is legal in Maine, northeast most United States, as well. So basically everywhere that it's too cold to do anyway. Not Michigan. Not my country but Spain. Age of consent is 13. And as long as you don't use deceit in any way you cannot be charged, even if the parents complain. Are you sure about that? I mean in my country it's 14 but when someone is over 21 and the other one is under 16, the parents of the minor easily could report you if there was no parental consent, and you would be charged for that. I guess it's different in Spain. If there was no parental consent, oh boy, would that be an awkward conversation. So, can I bang your 14-year-old daughter? According to Wikipedia, the parent's complaint can only lead to a charge if they think you obtained consent by deceit in some measure. Weed, hashish, psychobilin and prostitution. Guess where? Netherlands. Only prostitution. The rest are illegal but tolerated in the Netherlands. Is it just Amsterdam where they're fully legal? This doesn't answer the question in the strictest sense, but in Australia all citizens are required by law to vote in elections. Lots of my American friends think this is nuts and I definitely think it's changed the landscape of Australian politics. Not necessarily for the better. Also, as an Australian, the thing that's legal in America but seems insane to me is that it's legal to pay someone $3 an hour to work in a restaurant. Sorry OP. I gave you two answers that don't 100% address the question. Hopefully between them they do address the question. Haha. If you don't show up to vote you can be fined and lose your driving license as well until it is paid. Vote is also forced in Belgium. It's legal to pay someone $3 an hour to work in a restaurant. It depends on how that state defines minimum wage, inclusive or exclusive of tips. In my region, minimum wage does not include tips. So $3 HR wouldn't be legal. In New Zealand we can legally distill our own spirits. To my knowledge, you can in America, depending on the state, and as long as you don't sell it. Denmark, bestiality, same-sex marriage, consensual sex with 15-year-olds, buying alcohol and cigarettes as a 15-year-old, no driver's license until 18. Half true, the alcohol thing is a maze. But you need to be 16 for some things and 18 for others. Also cigarettes are only for 18-year-olds now. You have to be 18 to buy hard liquors, which means anything over 13.5%. Isn't driver's license at 18 something that's pretty common around the world? The only country I know for a fact that does it earlier is the USA. Ducking a horse, America. There's just places where it hasn't been made illegal yet because it hasn't been a problem, hasn't made headlines, and isn't a button issue for any large group. When did that become legal in America? Apparently it's legal in more states than same-sex marriage. Age of consent is 14 with certain caveats, partner's age, emotional maturity, blah blah, and with 16 it's all systems go. There was a scandal recently when a 40-year-old politician had a love affair with a 16-year-old. Completely legal. That's Germany for you. So if you ever wanted to duck a high schooler after she bought herself a beer in a bar, come over. Join our community Discord, link in description. Marrying someone of the same sex. I hear this will likely lead to marrying turtles or dogs. Turtles marrying dogs sounds goddamn adorable. It'd be turtly beachin'. Kinda surprises. Sorry America. Edit. Apparently they're legal in the states now. Yay. They've actually become legal, kind of. They will start making a new version of them in the US. Edit. I meant there's a different company making the eggs. It will have toys though. They are not legal. A knockoff company, Choco Treasures, is making compliant version but it is not kinda. Don't be fooled. It's legal to break out of prison. A woman in my country, Slovenia, just did this and turned herself in a week later. There will be 0 days added to her sentence. I was surprised too. Cows always have the right of way. No exceptions. No points for guessing which country I'm in. When you're in the German army you can refuse to act on orders against your conscience without being punished. Whaling. This English guy that I worked with was blown away by the gun laws in the US. He could not wrap his mind around how easy it is to acquire a firearm. Swedish snus. In Lebanon, it's normal to invite guests into your home. They could stay for up to 3 days if they wanted. It's been an Arab custom for hundreds of years. When my mom moved here, she was kind of put off by the fact that none of her neighbors seemed to care about her and my dad at all. She realized that it wasn't normal in America to just drop by someone's place and expect good company right off the bat. Prostitution, New Zealand. D. You have to pay the sheep? Is New Zealand Australia's Wales? I think Tasmania is probably Australia's Wales. Free speech? Technically, anyways. Driving in India is legal. Apparently no foreigner wants to take it up. In India, they feel all Indian drivers are pisho and should be locked up. I know in New Hampshire, USA, and a few other states we can carry around firearms in the open at any age. Illegal to drive conceal, but I'm free to walk around in public with a shotgun over my shoulder. You have to take a test to prove you know how to drive and use a car. You don't have to take a test to use or own a gun. Edit. Wow, didn't know this many people would miss the point of the ARP's question. It was asked what law would seem insane in another country. All those defending guns that are from the states. Having a gun seems normal, but that's not the view everywhere in the world. Some complained about the reference to cars versus guns. I could have just as easily pointed out that at a gun fair people can buy and sell guns with little to no oversight. But if a child sets up a lemonade stand outside of the same gun fair it can be shut down by the police. Wikipedia.org link. FoxNews.com link. So yeah, here's a better example of what most people outside of the US would think is insane. Using a car or a gun with malicious intent will not be prevented by a test and will both be deadly. Following a few basic rules prevents accidental injury from firearms, and I would argue they are safer than cars when used without the intention to cause harm. I'll take a wild guess here and say cars kill more people than guns. And yet more people are accidentally killed by cars than by guns. Scoffing and torturing bulls to death, just for people's entertainment. Spain. Sex with 14-year-olds. Germany is the Alabama of Europe. Alabama's age of consent is 16. Dong. This is going to get covered in comments, but what the hell? Not allowed to have an English sign in Quebec, and when it is on a sign, it must be 50% smaller than the French font. Sticking postage stamps upside down without being charged with treason. Thanks for watching. Subscribe for 3 videos a day.